Well, I'm back. Another video. Let me double check, make sure I got the angle correct on this. I think I'm probably good enough. I got Paul out here with me. How you doing, Paul? Anyways, today I want to talk a little bit about bidding jobs. You know, with residential, I pretty much go by $25 per keyhole. In the trip charge, maybe I say trip charge. Maybe the mobile fee, call out fee is 40 local. You can go all the way up to 100. Depends on how far I got to drive. You know, to different towns and all that. But you know, there's money to be made doing residential, and there's more money to be made doing residential if you know how to upsell. You know, and I'm horrible at upselling because I've already tried to feel like I'm a bargain for my customers. So the idea that you know, I'm going to go there after I just quoted a price and then try to recommend, you know, a fancier deadbolt or door hardware, etc. And I get a lot of times where people want to bid, you know, electronic push button deadbolts and stuff like that. And so I always offer that, you know, and I'll recommend some of those if they want the ease, you know, of you know, easy access. Whether you use, I don't personally like recommending any deadbolt that doesn't have a key override, even though the key may be the weak link. You know, when your batteries go dead and you don't have any override, you know, then you know, there's that. But there's easy ways to make a keyed entry more secure. You know, whether you know, do the pinnings, you know, the high low on the bidding. You know, different keyways are more secure. Quick set, notoriously, the old 5-pin is not as secure. But you know, smart key is prone to, or it's you don't have to worry about bumping. And I mean, it is you can pick a smart key. I personally am not that good at picking them, but I know other locksmiths they can pick them with their eyes closed with, you know, theoretical paperclip. You know, I'm you know, being satirical, but I mean, you know, smart keys not, you know, pick proof. You know, it's a different type of picking. There's no real shear line like you do with the pins. You know, it's more like sliders. Anyways, that's off on another tangent. But kind of today, what I want to talk about is I had a job to bid, and it was kind of a commercial, not really a business. It is like a daycare facility. But anyways, they had a whole bunch of, they had 12 steel doors installed. There's no hardware other than, you know, they got the doors hung, you know, everything's there except for the lever stuff. And so I'm trying to keep Paul from getting into stuff. What are you doing, buddy? Anyways, so 12 doors, they're prep, you know, for lever, and so I thought, well, you know, before I bid it, let me come over and take a look. And I'm glad I did, because they are 1 3/8 backset instead of 1 3/4. You know, these are steel doors set for light commercial. You know, and it's they were actually 1.5 inch thick or 1 3/8 thick. You know, not real thick for the doors. You know, most commercial, you know, 1 3/4. 1 7/8 and 2 inch, and they go thicker than that. But so I mean, get back to the situation here. So they want 12 classroom function levers, and they wanted 4 dummies, you know, for some wooden doors, which were just no latch needed. So I bid the job, and I'm glad I went to look at it, because it is not a 1 3/4 backset. So when you're looking at classroom hardware, like classroom function is so you can walk out any time. It's always, you know, you can always walk out. It's never locked on the inside. There's no push button, nothing, you know, to enable, disable lock from the inside. From the outside, you can use a key to get in, and you can, depending on what direction you turn the key, it can stay locked or it can stay unlocked, you know, when you pull the key out. So there is that. So that's classroom function. So, you know, ideally you would have it unlocked throughout the day, you know, and then at the end of the day you would lock it with the key. So they want those all key to light. And so, all right, so here's what I got. 12 lever function, or classroom function levers. So right off the top of my head, I'm thinking Falcon. You know, that's my go-to brand is Falcon. You know, there's a whole lot out there. I'm not saying Falcon's any better, but it's more common in my area to find hardware. And there's been times where I've had to go work on doors, and you know, where they broke in and they pried the door open or something, and so you need a new latch. You know, usually, and sometimes the hardware itself is bad. But I can mix and match Falcon easier than some of the others. So there are some really cheap brands out there, you know, that you can look and you can bid. And I mean, theoretically, I could have just bid it and just told them grade 3, you know, residential, maybe grade 2, you know, like Lowe's, Home Depot stuff. Tell Manufacturing has stuff at Lowe's, Home Depot. So here's my problem is those are like emergency levers to me. You know, if I had to go get a Tell, it's because my supplier's closed on the weekend. You know, I don't carry Tell unless I absolutely have to. It is a cheap, you know, fill a hole, you know, for a commercial, you know, light commercial. But I personally, I like Falcon, and I like the options the Falcon has. So if I were to bid Tell, they only have in classroom function 1 3/4 backset, and I need 1 3/8. So with Falcon, I can order the hardware, which comes standard with 1 3/4. And then I have to buy 12 1 3/8 latches. So here's the bid. So, you know, fair market value when you look at when you bid a job like this, commercial. So when you go and you look, if you were to go to Lowe's, Home Depot and buy some cheapie, you're gonna have to, you know, put in the time you take to go and find that stuff. You know, to go pick it up, all that. But if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot, I know people, they'll just charge like an extra 10%. They'll round up or whatever, which is, you're screwing yourself in that situation. If you go through a lock supply house, you get a wholesale price. And then a good one will tell you what the retail price should be, the MSRP, the manufacturer suggested retail price. I think I've covered this in other videos. So like the Falcon I'm looking at is like 59 bucks. The manufacturer suggests the retail price is $159. And so that's an example. And I'm not going to say who the supplier is. Every supplier has their own prices. So, and prices probably go up here in another month or two. You know, they always do at the end of the year. You know, the prices kind of always creep up. So I quoted at the 159 times 12. So, and I don't even know off the top of my head how much that is. So let's just do the math right here. Actually, I think I'd save the email. So when you quote something like that, so here's what I had to do. 12 Falcon W series levers, total 12 at $159 is $1,908. And that's, you know, Schlage C keyway. And that's your standard lever. Okay, and that's the MSRP price. And what I do is I will bid the high price, and then, you know, if all goes well, maybe I'll discount here and there. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes, you know, you screw something up. That's when you can lower the price and you can still make a profit. If you don't build in the profit, then you have nothing to negotiate when things go wrong. And so you're better to have it bid and approved at the higher price. And, you know, maybe it's the worst job I ever deal with, you know, so, you know, I'll charge a full price. But I almost always, you know, discount a little bit, especially if this is a repeat customer. I'll probably discount in the end anyways. I always try to do that. And then I also had to buy 12 of the 2 3/4 latches, and those were $168. That's for 12 of those. And so the problem I have, and so okay, so then the levers all need to be keyed alike. So I can't get these keyed alike right off the shelf. These were keyed different, and I can order them keyed alike. You'll pay a little bit more on that. So, you know, I'm charging to rekey myself, which is also where I will discount some of that stuff. I'm bidding a whole price. So to rekey all those together, you know, you only have to rekey 11 of them because the 12th one is the one you use as your pattern. So that's $275 to rekey. That's a 25 bucks per keyhole. And like I said, I'll probably discount it. And the install prep, you know, install labor and all that, I'd say 300 bucks. You know, that's $25 per keyhole for the labor, you know, to swap it out. That's 15 minutes. I charge 100 bucks an hour. So 15 minutes of labor, and that's assuming everything's good. These brainy doors, the prep is solid. So that's 300 bucks. And then the 4 dummy levers, I'm not even gonna charge labor. That's just, you know, 4 screws. That's 12 bucks each. And so the total, and I did the trip discount, was because it's local, it's $40. So the total is $2,739. And then, so that's, you think that's a lot of money, but I've already spent an hour, maybe 2 hours. At $100 an hour, you know, I do free quotes and stuff, but you got to do the research in this stuff. So that is, this is where it pays to kind of have a good lock supply house, because if I did all this work and all I did was use a local big box store, I've lost all this labor of looking and searching and everything else. When you go to a lock supply house, you're getting a wholesale price, and that extra profit you have for the MSRP is the buffer you have for all the extra stuff you got to deal with to get this stuff. That's how I look at it. Other people, it's like they'll charge, you know, way more than the MSRP because they can, especially if it's a big business, and then, you know, they're not going to care. I'm dealing with a smaller place, and I'm sure they're probably looking at that quote and they're thinking, $2,700, this guy's trying to rip us off. I dare them to go and do 12 levers. They'll have to find someone to key them alike, and then, you know, they won't even figure it out that, you know, it's the wrong backset. And I don't know why they went 2 3/8 backset on a steel door. You know, it's a classroom door. Granted, I mean, they probably got a discount on the door, the doorways. They've been working on this project for a year or two, he told me, so there wasn't any hurry on this. But I told him, well, the price goes up out of my control. I mean, I won't charge more for my labor, but the price will go up, you know, at the end of the year, because the suppliers always go up just a little bit. So I told him, you know, that price is good for now, and if it goes up a little bit, I'll try to hold it, you know. But my point in this conversation that I'm trying to explain is, use your lock supply houses, even if you got to order. My stuff's local. I can just go pick it up. They have everything I need right local. The latches are 1 3 or 2 3/8. That is a commercial backset. And so the levers only come with 1 3 or 2 3/4 backset. If you go to Lowe's to get you a classroom function, it's going to be 2 3/4. So that's why I say I dare the customers to go, and I'm not being mean. I'm just saying there is work that goes into bidding a job like this. This isn't a residential job where you can just say, well, you know, pick what you want from Lowe's, you know, and I'll go pick it up, and I'll just throw in a little bit extra, you know, on the charge, you know, I'll mark it up. And customers usually don't care about that kind of stuff. Usually I want them to buy the electronic hardware, because there's a warranty issue. I only warranty my work. I don't warranty the hardware unless they want to pay me. But so like I said, $2,700. So that's, you know, I figured 3 hours of labor total to do everything, to install it. And then you got the latches, 160 something, whatever it was, and then you got all the hardware itself. That's pretty good money, considering, you know, I get a wholesale price on the latch and the lever. So I mean, commercial is profitable, but it can be it can have its challenges. You know, it's nice if you can have all your own hardware inventoried in your vehicle. And I do have some levers I can use that I have that are brand new, and some of them that are reused. You know, some of them are for interchangeable core. They didn't want interchangeable core. They just want select keyway. So here's my thing. You know, and I'm probably rattling on and on. I'm sorry if I'm boring you. Use your lock supply houses, bid your jobs, and then just throw your price out. That's the bottom line. Throw your price out. And if they choose not to go with me and they want to do something different, they're going to figure it out. You know, some other person's going to go out there and they're going to just automatically order everything. Oh, it's classroom functions, well, 2 3/8, 2 3/4, and they're going to go out there and they're going to figure out, oh gosh, I should have had the 2 3/8 backset. Well, Tel don't have 2 3/8 latches that I know of that you can just buy separately, and so there's more running around, more figuring it out. You know, it's better to use a lock supply house. You can get all your questions answered pretty quick, and I'm pretty good, you know, with the lock supply houses I use. This one here I'm using, I'm not going to name them off, but we also have our association meetings there sometimes. But, you know, I'll do, when I bid a residential job, it's just straight up trip. You know, local's 40, you know. Usually if it's commercial and it's local, I'll do 60. I know locksmiths that won't get out of bed for any less than 125 or 150 for a trip. But I just, because I'm just a part-time guy, you know, eventually I want to go full-time doing this. But right now, I'm not trying to get rich. I'm just trying to make a little extra, pay my bills, have some fun, pay my insurance. Of course, you got to have business insurance. Always have business insurance. And you know, now I'm just got my new license for the city. You know, we're not a licensed state here in Missouri. We are what you call a permit, which is you just got to have a permit with you know your local city. They want to know who's doing business in their city. And also, if the customer wants to say he's a scammer or something, I'm registered with the city and I got insurance. I'm bonded insured, you know, and so I'm legit. But I get a lot of people also complaining about the scammers, you know, locally that they get ripped off. So I tell them, well, use map, you know, thing and figure out where they say they're located. You know, like one's in Dollar Tree, one's at the bowling alley. They're not locksmiths, they're scammers. You know, mine shows I'm in Canterbury. You know, you're in a neighborhood, and I got a mobile vehicle, so people can drive by and they can drop stuff off here, and I'll do stuff. But anyways, you know, watch. You know, there used to be networks that you could sign up with to get your name in the thing, so that everyone knows you're a legit locksmith. Now it's just scammer central. If you get on and do locksmith near me, but you know, if a locksmith is savvy, he'll buy that domain name. You know, locksmith near me. You know, and I think we do have a guy that is his business name is locksmith near me. Here locally, and he's legit. You know, I don't know the guy personally, but I sent a fellow locksmith out there to help out, and it turned out that the guy I sent never showed up. So I was pretty upset about that. Found out later he was in an accident, but it's like you could at least, you know, said something to the guy. Anyways, that's just how it goes. So, you know, this video hopefully was kind of covering bidding jobs, you know, setting your prices, you know, what's in a wholesale price versus a retail price. Wholesale is what you buy from your supplier. You know, even if I go to Lowe's or Home Depot, what I pay there is going to be my wholesale price, and I will mark it up. You know, if I go to pick it up, if the customer wants to go buy that stuff and pick it up, that's great. Then all I'm selling is labor. You know, I only warranty my labor. You know, if I don't supply the hardware, I don't warranty the hardware. So, and that's always been kind of how it is. And everything's subject to change in these bids. You know, I didn't add in the labor. You know, that would have been it's dummy levers. There's 4 of them. Those will be, you know, lows, because I couldn't find those hot numbers with the company, the supply house I went to. So I just thought, they're just wooden doors. They're like closets. They just want a dummy lever to match everything. So they're a Dane style lever. But anyways, I wasn't going to charge labor, so I'll give him a little bit on that. And I told him I'll give him keys, however many he needs, you know, right off the bat for free, which I usually do with customers, you know, residential too. Anyways, I just want to throw out another video, try to keep up the groove with putting more videos out. Appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about bidding, about supply houses, when I bid a job, I don't usually, I don't do the tax thing, you know, and I hear people say stuff. If you charge a tax, then you know, have to report the tax. If I understand right, what I do is I'm a finished bid product. You know, I bid the job, he's getting a finished job. You know, and it's labor and everything else. So, you know, each state kind of has their own tax rules on that stuff. But if I go to Lowe's, you know, I pay you know, $16.99. I round up to $20. You know, technically the customer's paying that, but he's also paying for me having picked it up and brought it. I'm supplying him, you know, a finished service. I'm not selling him a lever. I'm selling him a finished service. So that's kind of how I look at it. My tax people, I'm not getting rich, you know, I'm doing this. I mean, it sounds like a lot of money I might make on a job if I get it, but $2,700, but I've already spent 2-3 hours, you know, researching. So there's you know, $100 an hour, you know, you're kind of losing labor, but I don't mind it also because it pays myself forward with some of the experience you have with bidding other jobs. So there is that, you know. But that's just me, you know. Other locksmiths, more established as you know, real mobile businesses. There's a few of them that have little classes, you know, webinars, Zoom meetings and stuff. And one guy, he sells a membership where he'll walk you through everything, and that's great. I'm just trying to keep a channel going. So, and I know some of you guys that are kind of doing this part-time, trying to work your way into it. That's kind of how it goes. But anyways, I don't know if I explained everything correctly, you know. So let me highlight this one last time. So I bid this job, lever job. What I did, what I told them was, here's a breakdown of total for the lock and lever project. We will provide a dozen extra keys, free of course. And 14 levers must have the smaller latch, special ordered, but these are all commercial grade 2 designed for your steel doors. And I don't give him the part numbers. You never really give your customer part numbers. They can't go out and shop and look on eBay, but they're wasting their time, and they'll think, hey, you know, you could have found this cheaper or got it cheaper. How much time did you spend looking? Because I spent some time doing this too. So the total for the 12 Falcon lever series was $19.08. That's MSRP. Total for the 12 Falcon 2 3/8 latches, $168. That's MSRP. And then the lever locks to be keyed to match the pattern locks, $275. The install labor, additional door prep, you know, $300. And that's, you know, $25 per key, you know, per install of each lever. So that's 12 times, you know, 25. And then 4 dummy levers. And I told them I'm not charging them, but those are $12 each. And so the trip, local discount, $40. Total for the complete job is $2,739. And upon your approval, we can have everything ready to go and do the install, you know, within less than a week. So let me know. Thank you. And so that's how I did it. So that's the breakdown on how you do some of your jobs. That's how I do it. Other people have other ways, but I thought I'd go over it. People probably wondered, you know, they might be interested in how this works, you know, when you're trying to run a business. But that's me. Maybe I do a lot of things wrong, unorthodox, whatever, but that's just kind of me. That's how I do it. And I've done most of my jobs that are commercial like that. I do the breakdown, I talk to my suppliers, you know. I kind of know the hardware I like is usually going to be Falcon. I mean, if they have a brand they're already using, I will usually stay with the brand, and I will stay with the keyway they're already using too. So if they use a Hagar or Hager or Sargent, I'll bid that stuff too. Unless they want to go with a different one, it is a lesser price. Sargent's pretty expensive in some cases, and Sargent's excellent, and so is Marks. Some of the other brands, there are a lot of brands out there. So, but I stick to Falcon because I know the interchangeable capabilities of the hardware, the screws, all that stuff. You know, the latches I know are easier to find. So, with that, I think I'll get off here. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully, I get this up, and I'll leave some in the comments if I get to do the job or not. I'm not going to worry about it. I did my shot. And we'll see where it goes from there. So I have plenty down the pipeline. I've got several other jobs I'm bidding. So it's like, I don't worry about, you know, being the cheapest guy in town. I don't worry about being the most expensive. They can call anyone they want, anytime they want. They can even have their own janitors try to install one at a time. They're going to figure out there's some complexities, and that's why I went the way I did. So, all right, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.